Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time I want to take a look at something I've mentioned before and I've touched on, but never delved into, which is Turok, Son of Stone, from Gold Key Comics. Turok, I think, started with Dell. I've got a dozen of them here. I've got more. I've got several more, but I think I even have one or two from Dell. But when Gold Key split from Dell, they think they took Turok with them. And I may be misremembering. And I'll go into more background detail sometime when I delve into one of these issues. One of these or another issue. So, I want to start by looking at, okay, right here at Turok, Son of Stone. This was from 1965, number 45. Now, one of the things about Turok, Son of Stone, because it's Turok and his young friend Andar, who are American Indians, and they are lost in Lost Valley. And this valley is filled with all kinds of dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures, including various forms of pre-human and human beings. And I think all these covers are, with maybe one exception, was painted by George Wilson. Sure looks like his work. And but initially, because I've got an old digest book, Gold Key digest book, that reprinted the earliest Turok stories, and they it was like during the drought, and it was getting hard to find food. They went hunting, and they went into this cavern because they scented water, and they got in a river that took them into this Lost Valley area. But initially that valley was smaller than this one, and they spent a few had a few stories in this other valley that was inhabited by prehistoric mammals. It's like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and stuff like that. And then they went through another tunnel, and they got into this other lost valley with the dinosaurs and stuff. And they got lost in Lost Valley. In a way, it's kind of like Land of the Lost, only with American Indians instead. And these, and I can't, and it was different artists. So I can't remember who the original artist was. I'll have to look that up, and who the original creators were. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Gaylord Dubois as one of the creators, and probably one of the primary writer for all these, because they started out, I think, probably bi-monthly or quarterly, and spent most of its run for bi-monthly. And of course later they were mostly reprints towards at the end, reprint issues, and they would occasionally throw in another reprint. So we have this one, 12 center, and here's then go up a little bit, 15 center. This is in real rough shape, and of course, all of, with the one exception, the artists for all of these is what's his name? Alberto Giolitti. I suddenly couldn't think of his name. He did this great art. Was great with the dinosaurs and the cave people and the like. And they had little stuff in the center of a few pages of stuff like this, some background, some history. In this case, it's prehistoric, ancient prehistoric life. And of course, Alberto Giolitti, he was so good at this kind of stuff. He did a lot of Star Trek. He did some westerns. He did Gunsmoke, and a lot of stories for their mystery titles. And what else did he do? Oh yeah, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Here's another 15 center. It's probably from about 68, 69, 70. Of course, The Prisoner, The Mysterious Trail. Oh, here's another insert. And I don't know who the artist was that did it on these center stories. And I think sometimes they would have a story about some stuff about the American Indians, sometimes too. I said, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Almost anything that required a very naturalistic art that wasn't already being done by Dan Spiegel. He even, there's another 15 center, he even did a few issues of Tarzan. Just not many, just I think 2. And I think those were, I covered those in when I did the Jungle Tales of Tarzan, because I think they were both the Jungle Tales of Tarzan stories, and I think they did one that was tied into the 60s Tarzan TV show. Great dinosaur stuff. Of course, now we know the dinosaurs are a lot different than this, but that is some, for the time, and even for today, the great rendition of dinosaurs. Another 15 center, so it would have been about the same time. This is a feverish sleep, a nightmare awakening. The killer lizards are here. All kinds. So it was usually one story per issue, told in 2 parts. But once in a while, it would be 2 shorter stories in an issue. And here, this is issue. There's still 15 center. This is issue 79, and I happen to have 2 copies of this one right here. These ones were all together. I have, like I said, I have more, but this is just a dozen. I have ones that I had together, or close to together, easy to find. Oh, and here's one that is not drawn by Alberto Giolitti, and that's a surprise. I don't remember. This would have been, I think it was Jose Delbo. I'm surprised. I didn't realize that. Yeah, both parts, both stories. Jose Delbo. I'm reasonably sure it's Jose Delbo. Here's another 15 center, Turok, Son of Stone. And they usually had all these cover paintings. This is Turok vanishes and Andor must stand or die alone. And I always got the impression that they were like brothers, but Andor, I think, is just like his pupil. They were hunting partners, and Turok was always older than, several years older than Andor. Andor alone. That's nice. And inside, Andor, Turok always wore the blue vest, and Andor didn't. And on the covers, the cover paintings, but they never had Turok with a blue vest. This is probably the only exception right here. Turok wearing the blue vest on the cover. And still Alberto Giolitti interior art. It said, the 2 strangers who have angered the Earth God must die. It looks like an earthquake and dinosaurs dying. And of course, then in the 90s, Valiant Comics picked up Turok and they just ruined him. Now, a few weeks ago, I did that one of Turok from Valiant, and I did enjoy the story, but I don't like that interpretation of Turok at all. He's wrestling an Allosaurus. It's an Allosaurus or some other theropod. It definitely is not a pterosaur. This one is a pterosaur. Notice on the cover. On the cover, they have 3 fingers, and inside it has 2 fingers. If I can find it again. Well, whatever. Inside it had 2 fingers, which is a pterosaur. Pterosaurs had 2 fingers. And Allosaurus and most of the other theropods, type dinosaurs like Megalosaurus and the others had 3 fingers. So writing, had more, a little bit more civilized or technologically advanced tribe here, and they're writing terror birds. Now, terror birds were quite prominent a few million years after the end of the dinosaur age, after the Chicxulub impact, asteroid impact that killed off the dinosaurs. Of course, the terror birds are descended from the theropod dinosaurs, and but they were almost exclusively on South America and a little bit up into lower North America for a time, I think, but not the rest of the world. But at least they're in the right area. More great Alberto Giolitti art. But then this one is different. This was a 60-ish. This is issue 129, and I think it's a reprint from some earlier stuff. Different painter, cover painting, and of course it's Whitman, not without the gold key imprint. Whitman was of course reprinting a lot of stuff, and sometimes printing new stuff, specifically for the multi-packs sold in the department stores, which I've said several times before. But this one happens to be drawn. It's written by Paul S. Newman. I did something about him once, and drawn by Jack Sparling, who I've mentioned several times before. And it's still nice. Jack Sparling had done some Bomba and a bunch of other things. Some of the stuff for Dell, some science fiction stuff for Dell and others. And also did some gold key stuff in the science fiction stuff. And this has more than one story in it. In this particular issue, that was Jack Sparling. I'm not sure. Is this one Jack Sparling as well? Yeah, that second story is Jack Sparling. And then it ends with a reprint of an older Alberto Giolitti drawn story. It says, I'm not sure, just one, because it has the publication date and the original copyright date of 61. So that stuff goes way back. So that's about all I wanted to tell you this time about Turok, Son of Stone. And I want to go deep dive into one of these issues sometime, and I'll do more research to share with you. So I do want to thank you all for joining me, and do like, share, and subscribe. If you have other friends who are very interested in dinosaurs, share this with them. They might like it, especially if they've never heard of it. And do leave a comment. Have you ever read these Turok books? And did you like them? If you did, do you like this Turok better than the Valiant version of Turok? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.